Tashdil everyone, I'm Sakina Bhatt and welcome to Tibet This Week, a weekly feature in English that tells you about this week's news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Central Tibetan Administration. Let's look at the headlines first. His Holiness the Dalai Lama to grace Thank You India public event in Dharamshala. Tibet issue is relevant to the entire world. It's not going away, says His Holiness the Dalai Lama. His Holiness the Dalai Lama brings message of peace to Jammu. His Holiness the Dalai Lama inaugurates 92nd Annual General Meet of Association of Indian Universities. UN member states raise Tibet in the United Nations Human Rights Council session. The Central Tibetan Administration will organize a public event at the Tuglakhang Temple on March 31st, 2018 to thank India. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has graciously consented to grace the event, which will celebrate Tibetan culture and spirit that thrives on the Indian soil. March 31st, 2018 marks the beginning of the 60th year since His Holiness the Dalai Lama stepped on the sacred land of India. Tibetan people across the globe are observing the year 2018 as a Thank You India year, considering India their second home. A series of pan-India events spanning 12 months, both on the physical and virtual space, will publicly express gratitude to the government and people of India for ensuring the success of the efforts of Tibetan people performing its rich ancient culture and unique identity. In a video message to the International Campaign for Tibet based in DC, while on his 30th founding anniversary, His Holiness the Dalai Lama said on last Thursday that the Tibet issue is relevant to the entire world. It is not going away. His Holiness further said that the Tibet issue should not be perceived entirely as a human rights issue, but also of preservation of culture and knowledge.
I think common interest more important rather than one's own national sort of interest. With that kind of sort of concept, I am very much willing remain within the People's Republic of China.
His Holiness emphasized on the importance of ancient Tibetan knowledge, which came from the Nalanda Institution of India, and also spoke briefly on the middle way policy and the support it has garnered at the level of both government and public. His Holiness the Dalai Lama had left Dharamshala for a one-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir to take part in the first convocation ceremony of the Central University of Jammu on Saturday last week. While addressing the huge crowd last Sunday at the university, His Holiness iterated about the relevance of ancient Indian knowledge in today's world and called Jammu and Kashmir a state in which various religions live together in harmony. His Holiness graced the inauguration of the 92nd Annual Meet of the Association of Indian Universities at Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies in Sarnath, Varanasi on Monday this week. The 92nd meet delved on the topic Higher Education in the Era of Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Disruptive Technology with the focus on human values in the age of disruption.
Now, this country should utilize ancient knowledge. You should combine modern education and ancient Indian knowledge should combine. Modern education, very, very necessary, very helpful to build material development and technology, science, these things. And then ancient Indian sort of knowledge about emotion, about mind, that very important to bring inner peace.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama spoke at a seminar on the need for secular ethics in modern education with the vice-chancellors from more than 150 Indian universities in Sarnath on Monday this week. In an expression of their commitment to His Holiness's secular ethics initiatives, the Association of Indian Universities pledged to institute a Center for Secular Ethics in all the 100 universities across the country. His Holiness the Dalai Lama returned to Dharamshala on Wednesday this week. In an encouraging development, several UN member states, including Germany, France, Canada, US, and Bulgaria, on behalf of the European Union, expressed concern over human rights situation in Tibet at the ongoing 37th regular session of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva. The member states have also called China to release all who have been detained for exercising their fundamental rights. Some member states have explicitly mentioned the case of Tibetan language rights advocate Tashi Wangchuk. Debating under Item 4, Human Rights Situation that require the Council's attention, Germany called on China to allow visits of UN special procedures to Tibetan areas. A week-long Tibet advocacy at the United Nations undertaken by Department of Information and International Relations and Tibet Bureau, Geneva, to highlight the deteriorating human rights situation in Tibet concluded successfully a week ahead of the 37th United Nations Human Rights Council session. So much for this week. See you next time and have a great weekend.